She told me this, Sammie, can you imagine if you walk into the interview room and all of your other candidates are like also did journalism? So how are you going to stand out from these people? But if you walk in with a law degree, you are different because you are trained very well in like critical thinking and you are able to see things from a different perspective because that's what we do in debating. I realized that this is not what I like and what I want. For me, I enjoy sharing my opinions and sharing my views with people, but not having the burden of needing
proof.
needing to prove something.
Join us in the realm of holistic human, where we explore the essential elements that empower us to flourish, revealing our hidden potential and nurturing our growth.
Welcome to the Holistic Human podcast, where we explore what it means to be thriving at a state of peak performance. We have Sammie with us today. Sammie goes by the moniker Sasiko. Hi!
Yeah.
Sammie holds a bachelor's degree in law, but is more well known as an experienced international event MC. Sammie hosts events in English, Chinese, Malay, Cantonese, and wait for it, Japanese. Not only that, she dabbled also in Korean, Swahili, and French. My God. As you can see,
What do you know about that?
It's in your CV.
Did your homework.
Yeah, I did my homework, absolutely. Yeah. As we can see, Sammie is a polyglot. She's like a peak performance athlete in the arena of speaking and the command of languages. And she runs a talent agency in Malaysia, is a frequent flyer on event stages in Malaysia, also contracted by CTVS China as a bilingual host. And she's a host for motorsport events, including being a season host for Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2023, as well as, I think, 2019. Yeah, I'm actually stress hosting Sammie because what if I'm not performing up to her standards as an MC and she asked me to go back to school?
No way, I'm not like that.
Okay. Yeah. Would you like to say something like what people don't know about Sammie?
Wow, what people don't know about Sammie.
Yeah.
Sammie is actually not very talkative after hosting. In person, I'm talkative, but I listen more and I observe more. Yeah, I'm not as energetic as on the stage. So I think that's something that nobody knows.
I see. I would say too that I'm also quite introverted. I don't talk that much unless I have to. Yeah. I'll just journey it back a bit, like how I first met Sammie. I met Sammie at a personal development camp called Asia Works back in 2014. At that time, I was 27 years old. And then at that time, my team facilitator was Sammie, age 20. I was like, whoa, hold on a second. What is a 20-year-old doing in a personal development camp? And then, wait a minute, I'm at level 1 and she's at level 3. So I'm like, this girl is way beyond her years. And then I had loads of respect for her presence being there. And fast forward 10 years later, and then now she's like an international superstar to me. Yeah. Okay. And we know that, Sammie, you completed a bachelor's degree in law, but right now what you're doing, forging your own career journey, creating your own talent agency, is pretty unconventional and it's actually very intriguing for me. Yeah, maybe we start off with, how did you end up in a personal development camp at the tender age, teenage years? How do you end up in Asia Works?
Wow, I think this one is, there's this idiom where people say that you should pick your friends very carefully, your social circle very carefully, because that's exactly what happened to me. Because I ended up in this camp because my high school classmate, her name is Yew. She changed my life, you can say, because she was the one who enrolled me into this program because she knows I'm someone who always struggle with expressing myself. Okay, I was a teenager, okay, back then, high school classmate. Yeah, as any other teenagers out there, we struggle to express. We have a lot of things, issues anger issues behavioral issues or whatever. I have a lot of issues with relationship because I'm talking about personal relationship, as in I have no issues on having public speaking on the stage or talking to people or talking on stage. But when it comes to expressing my feelings, I think it impacts a lot in personal relationships, especially relationship with my family, with my mom, and also intimate relationship. So she went to this program first. She went to the level 1 training. And then when she came out, she asked me, hey, Sammie, you want to join this? This is very good, blah, 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 blah. Then I was like, okay. But I always look up to her because she is a total opposite of me. She is very popular with people, have a lot of friends, and you're always happy with her. She has this magnet that people just like her. So I always look up to her, and she's one of the very few friends that talked to me back then. So I was like, yeah, this thing must be very magical. So I went for the level 1. It's okay. I slowly understand what are the things that are not working for me, like in personal relationships or whatnot. Then we continued the program together. So that is how I started this program thing, because of my friend. And how she knew this is from her mom. Her mom is, wow. She actually, the reason was very funny. I still remember it.
Yeah.
It was like her mom, because we are from Chinese school. So Chinese secondary school. So we don't really have an environment for like English speaking places. And like her mom really wants her to excel like in English. So like she thought, oh, this training is in English. You should go and mix with English speaking people and like it will help you to improve. And they also teach something good. So it's one stone, two birds, that kind of concept. So she went and whoa, she achieved more than that. So it's, yeah, I think it's a very unexpected result, I would say. But yeah, that was how I went to that place.
Wow. I think it's much, much more than the English training camp or something. I think it was in a way life-changing for me in the sense that it was the first time I started, even at level 1, I started noticing that, oh, I have this filter, I have this belief. And it also brought up lots of deep stuff like childhood stuff that made me who I am, both in a good way and a bad way. And yeah, I did not complete all 3 levels. I got kicked out at level 2, but that's a story for another day. And thanks for sharing that. And subsequently, how did you find your own career path? Is something that I'm very interested in.
Oh my God, this is like a long story.
Yes.
Everybody likes to ask me about this question.
Oh,
Everybody
yes.
is curious. What makes you not want to be a lawyer? Because lawyer is like, oh, very prestigious, very credible. You earn a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. You have everything, which is not true. I have to clarify this to a lot of people out there, like teenagers who are struggling. I'm not saying that you should not pursue like this career if this is what you're really passionate in. It's just that if you are looking for, I don't know, like sense of achievement or like wealth or whatever, this is not the only path. So for me, it's of course very similar to a lot of Asian parents, Asian family. Like my parents, of course, they want me to pick something that is like have a future. So that was 10 years ago, by the way. So it was still there. So when I make my choice, law was not my first choice. My first choice for my degree was actually journalism, because like my dream back then in high school was to be a news anchor. Like I want to read the teleprompter and I read news. It looks very professional. I like boring stuff like that. But when I really look into the modules, like what do people learn in journalism, then I noticed that, oh shit, this is not for me. Because it's, for me, I think like these skills can be learned maybe through self-study or something. And one person that impacts my choice in degree choosing is my debating coach. Because I was in English debating club and my coach was a law degree student as well. She's a very successful litigation lawyer now. She was also like a national champion back then. She have a lot of influence in me lah. She told me this, Sammie, can you imagine if you walk into the interview room and all of your other candidates are like also did journalism? So how are you going to stand out from these people? But if you walk in with a law degree, you are different because you are trained very well in like critical thinking and you are able to see things from a different perspective, because that's what we do in debating, right? You have to look at the thing from both sides or potentially like more sides to know how to argue and stuff like that. Of course, I have a talent because I was a national champion too. For me, she made a really good point. I was wondering, okay, if I don't want to become a news anchor anymore, or maybe something changed, then what do I do? So she said, at least with a law degree, if you don't want to become a lawyer, you still have a very good professional knowledge. You can jump into anything else. You can go to business. You can still do any other thing except for like professional degree. I'm not like doctor. You can't jump from law to
I jump from it.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it makes a lot of sense because of course back then I don't know what's there for me. I just think that, okay, I'm pretty good at debating and like this subject, and if law allows me to continue to like debate and I find it interesting, so like more fun. So I was like, okay, then I just take the law degree, and it turns out to be quite fun. It's within my expectations because I really loved debating back then. And yeah, so after I completed my degree, I wanted to just stop there actually, because as any law degree holders out there, they will just realize that, oh shit, this is not for me. And they will just stop there and they will just move on to something else. Whereas for my case, is my parents were like, no, I pay you so much money. I send you to UK. You better give me CLP. I'm like, okay, law, but I'm like, as a typical Asian child who who are trained to please their parents. Of course I did. So I took the CLP, but I didn't pass it in the first year. It was very funny. I'll leave this like to another day, like if you want to talk
Mm.
about it. But basically, during the first attempt, I noticed that, oh shit lah, this is really not for me. I really hate the papers. Debating and drafting papers and arguments for a client is a different thing
Different thing.
because they are stakeholders, they are responsibility, and there are a lot of things to take into account, which I don't like it. Because
Mhm.
debating is like a hobby back then. Like in high school, we just debate, like, whoa, like very cool. Oh, I won this argument. Yeah, like that kind of thing. But when it comes to this skill has to be applied into something and like you're reading like actual cases and you have to give like advices to people and all that, I realized that this is not what I like and what I want. For me, it's I enjoy sharing my opinions and sharing my views with people, but not having the burden of
But
needing
not
to
proof.
needing to prove something. Or of course, I'm still a pretty logical person in real life, but it is very different. I don't want it to be money driven because it will affect how I see things. So I drop out lah from the first attempt, but I went, what did I do? That was 2016, was it 2016? Oh God, I'm getting old. Like 2017, maybe 17, 16, I came back. So yeah, 2017. So in 2017 was my first attempt. So I went in set for 2 papers. The rest of the paper, I just, fuck it. I didn't sit for the exam. I went to some event jobs. So back then, during my CLP years, I was doing event jobs like promoter, roadshow stuff, but not really full-time MC yet. It's half-half lah. Okay, so when did I start emceeing was actually back in high school. So remember I talked about I was in debating team. So
Yes.
in our school, right, high school is very independent one. It depends on what club you're in.
Mm.
For those school activities, you have to in charge of certain things. So for me, because I was in the elocution club, so we are in charge of the daily broadcast stuff, sports day, the broadcasting, assemblies, hosting, like the ceremony stuff. So it's all handled by us. So of course, I'm very privileged because I speak very good English, like in a Chinese school. So
Yeah, I was just
I'm
going to mention that
always-
you're from UEC, but then you're the English debating club. Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty gifted lah in these 2 languages. I am very fortunate because I suck in maths. I'm from science stream, but maths cannot make it. Back then, I was given a lot of opportunities to be on the stage because there's only like very few English speaking candidates who can speak very good Mandarin. Because after all, it's a Chinese school. So like English is not a primary language. So you still need to speak like Mandarin, like on stage sometimes, which I am very gifted, like fortunate to have mastered both of the language. So I get to train on both. So after I graduated from school, I do receive some of the schoolmates, maybe some company, their parents have company, or they want to have annual dinner, graduation dinner, or whatever. Then they ask me, oh, you want to try? Because I think you do very well on stage and blah, blah, blah. I continued to MC after I left high school. But of course, just part-time. So 2017, after I came back from the UK and started my CLP, after the first attempt, I already start to take a lot of part-time jobs in events, MC lah, or any kind of event jobs. I can be like the crew running around because back then don't know how to make up ma. From there, slowly progress into, I think only in 2018, I think I start to grow some brains to copy people's makeup, learn different makeup styles, and then, oh, okay, you need to like wear contact lens, you need to wear false eyelashes, you need to curl your hair. Back then I was long hair. All these things I learned all makeup, and then I became like a car show model, then there's like Greek girl, racing stuff. Yeah, I think number one, I earn more money this. I enjoy it because it's good attention. I am like, I just need to pose there. It's tiring lah. Wear heels, pose there, be pretty. And then people don't need to talk to me. I don't need to give advice. It's like, okay, people just like me because like they like my outfit or like my pose or whatever lah. So back then it was just like this, very simple minded. I just think that, okay, this is like something I like, I enjoy. And then I continued. I think like it was in 2019 that I decided to make this as my full-time like emceeing, because like I got the contract like with CTVS, which is to be the season host for Porsche Career Cup Asia. That was really life-changing for me because remember I told you about I want to be a news anchor. In 2019, the race was featured in Fox Sports Asia. So technically, I made it there. Okay, I didn't make it in the local TVs, but oh yeah, I was there. I'm partnered with very seasoned hosts like in the sports industry. So it's a really important, I would say it's an important gig for me to know that, okay, like I'm like in this area now, like very close to journalism. And I learned journalism from my co-host, which is also reflects to what I thought back then when I was younger as a kid.
Is it what you imagine as a kid?
Remember, I told you that I think journalism can be learned from somewhere else
Yeah.
instead of attending to university. I think that is what
Yeah.
I thought was right. Like, yeah, I gave myself credit points for that. Of course, I'm still learning in this journey. I'm very happy that they picked me again after the pandemic to come back to work with them again. So I think like 2019 was the year. 2019 was the craziest year for me actually, because like it was the year I like really have a big leap from my MC career and also knowing what I really want to do. But to retire from modeling is a little bit hard because people will always like, oh, I want you to be the model. Because I did so many different jobs like in events. So everybody was asking me, can you do this? Can you do this? I'm like, no, I can't. It's one event. Okay, let's say 3 events on the same date. You can't do everything, right? So of course, I'll just pick the most paid gig. Of course, MC is the most paid person. So I wanted to focus on emceeing. So what I did was I transformed my business into an agency kind of business so that, okay, I can source other talents and I can guide them what my client wants, because sometimes only your client, like they have certain pet peeves or like certain requirements. So you are the mama to guide them, that kind of thing. Yeah. that was how I started my agency. But of course, agency, I don't see it as my main business for now, because I think, to be honest, it's not very lucrative. Second of all, it's about people with people. And for me, I have no interest in education, honestly. If you want to learn it, you learn it yourself. Because for me, I have been learning it by myself. A lot of effort needs to come from yourself. And for people who don't have the right intentions, it's very hard to guide them. If they are just money driven, then no, I'm not the person who can guide them.
Learning as in when you give your talents training in that sense.
Yeah, like a lot of people ask me, oh, Sammie, can you like do training? Like, nah, I don't like. I'm not passionate in that. For me, I'm just passionate in what I'm doing now. Those celebrity, their passion is just to be nice, be pretty, be good on stage, be loved by people, and enjoy their life. That's it. For me, it's very simple, seriously. I used to think that my dreams like this are very shallow, but I have came to this point that I'm turning 30 next year. So for me, no, if this is what I enjoy, I'm just gonna fucking do it.
Yeah. Knowing what you want is very important. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, instead of trying to fit into people's expectations and whatnot, but not actually enjoying what you want to do. Yeah, so I think that's how I transition from, okay, finally knowing that, okay, this is not for me, I don't really like this, then I want to be like full-time MC and I enjoy the pace. Of course, now I'm like, it's been 11 years. This year is my 11th year in MCing. Sometimes I get sick of certain things because it's always the same day over and over again. But I think last year, since I discovered cosplay has been my hobby, but whoa, I was also very blessed that got organizers, they trust my MC skills and they bring me in. And I happen to be doing quite well in the cosplay scene as well. Pretty Sachiko is the identity. I'm very happy that it's very well loved by people, and I get to host a lot of prestigious events in the scene as well. So then from there, I noticed that, hey, actually, maybe I can bring this kind of energy into my usual corporate events. Maybe not so much, but a little bit here and there just mixed together, because that's what I did in cosplay and seeing, okay, I bring some of the professional parts into it so it's more organized. But hey, actually I can bring this part to here as well. So now I learned how to enjoy events better. It's the other day I was telling people that MCs, a lot of people think MC is someone who just talks, but actually it's not. So for me, my understanding of an MC is that MC is someone who brings their energy into this room so that everybody can blend into it and they can connect to the event so that they have an experience about it and they will remember that experience. Because experience and feelings are something that you will remember even after a long time. You won't remember the details. You won't remember what the MC said. Maybe if they crack a really funny joke, you'll probably remember it. But if you make them feel like, I really enjoyed this event, like I had a really good time, then you will remember that something. So I use this analogy when I explain to someone, we are like USB. The USB, like we just plug into the event, okay, then everybody will blend together. Then after this event, okay, next day, another event or another group of people, okay, just plug We are like the USB lah.
Have to be very flexible, adaptable.
Yeah.
And I love how you describe it, molding that experience for people. That's something very deep and it's not easy to do. Matching the energy of the event and then matching the energy or bringing the crowd into that form of energy. And I think the adage says that people will forget what you say, people will forget what you do, but people will not forget what you made them feel. So that's exactly how you bring the liveliness to an event and make a memorable experience for people. Wow.
Yeah. And I think honestly it took a long time for me to understand that, because in order to reach this state, number one, you have to be very comfortable with yourself. It's really the self-confidence. I can't find a word for it right now, but it's more than just confidence. It's actually, let me land the analogy from Yafu. So like he said, okay, for example, how does a good singer sings? What do you think?
Oh, I got this training from him also. As in, you are the only person on stage and other people don't exist, and this is your stage. Whether it's a bathroom, whether it's a 10,000 people stage, something like that.
Yeah, so he said a good singer is someone who can sing like they're in their own bathroom. Because you won't question yourself, what? You're in bathroom, you sing, you won't question, oh, am I a good singer? Then you sing. Well, no, you just shower and then you just sing. So you don't even try. You just do it. You just sing. You don't care. So I think it applies the same being as an MC as well. When we are MC, okay, like you don't go up on stage and still, before you talk, you still think, oh, is it okay if I say this? Of course, I have those moments. Like back then, I struggle a lot because I always think that, oh shit, like if my client don't want me to say this, is it okay if I say that? So I have a lot of questions in my head. So I can't really focus on being present, and I don't really trust myself back then. And I was very scared of this, scared of that, scared losing the job, all of these things. So I think after I really noticed that, okay, this is the pattern that is not working, I look into, okay, how do I make myself feel comfortable in myself? Okay, it could be like, okay, watching more videos, see how other hosts handle this situation. It could be working on pronunciation, could be preparing on script, ask questions with the client, ask them. Sometimes we have to accept that you don't get to ask a question every single time because you're running the show. So you just have to do it lah. And if you say you accidentally F up, just save it back. Having that kind of mentality allows you to be more flexible, because you know that, okay, if I F up, okay, I will do something about it. Instead of just focusing on, oh, how do I don't F up, which is impossible because it's people.
Yeah.
There will be things that are out of your control. Like I have events that the decor just fell off and then hit on people. That was not within my control, man. So I have to handle that without being prepared. So it's more like, just focus on knowing that, okay, you are the MC, the authority is on you. You are the one who's in charge of controlling the people, not people, but controlling the flow, the crowd. So if you think this is better, this is more effective, just give the order and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then give another order. Nah, as simple as that. So I think that changes like how I host events as well. I'm less rigid now. I still follow the script, but I'll see if I feel like the crowd can take a little bit of joke, then okay, I will crack a little joke. Yeah, of course, knowing very well what's the boundaries, okay, what stuff you should not say, what stuff you should say, that kind of thing lah. Of course, these things takes experience, but I would say a lot of it is your conversation between you and yourself before you go on the stage. Do you really, are you really prepared?
Comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, are you really comfortable in your own skin? But of course, it's a very fine line lah between some people who are too comfortable that they forgot about it. So you really have to find a balance. And not all, even if you tried your best, even if you give your best, there are just some audience that don't click with you. Just know that. But normally, I believe the universe lah. Because normally clients will come back to you or come to you is because they've seen your videos, they like your style, they know that, okay, you're Agak-nola, okay, your style is like this, I want something like this. If they want something else, okay, maybe they want a very sexy one, very big boobs, okay, I don't have, then they won't find me. So it's like it's a very flexible thing. For me, I just like to think that the universe will give me the right clients. So I don't really think, oh, what this one, blah, blah. I just listen to myself. It's okay, if I can do this, I'll tell them I can do this. If I can't, then I also communicate with them that I can't do this, but what about this? Don't just tell them no, but offer a solution as well. So then from there you can work. Oh, okay, maybe from there we work out of something.
To paraphrase that, I would say that your vibe attracts your tribe, and then people who buy you will come to you, And yeah, and that's how the universe works sometimes. And
Yeah.
I'm also learning this lesson, although I know it, but putting it into practice and then actually living it is
Challenging.
takes a lot of courage, confidence, guts, and experience. And back to what Yafu said, that being on stage, that I am the superstar and I'm trying to embody that. I was always a salaried employee for the past 12, 13 years. And then now moving into my own as an entrepreneur, running my own business, I have to be there outside. And it's not something I'm really comfortable with. And that lack of not comfortable in my own skin, it draws, the energy becomes very low and everything is messy and not solid. And when I speak to people, this guy is something is wrong with him.
Yeah, because there's so many noise in your head.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
But you
Yes.
have to put up the act like
Yeah.
nothing, but actually in your head, so yeah, I know
Yeah.
you. I feel you. I totally feel you.
So what is your trick to know that 8仙归位, I come back into myself? And do you have an NLP thing that you do, or
Not really. I would say it's more like witchcraft. For me,
Genjutsu?
yeah, for me, what I do is I talk to myself. It's a very weird, but don't do it in public. Like, do it like in somewhere discreet. But
Okay.
for me, I find that talking to myself helps, because talking to myself as in use a very calm voice to talk. Because when you do this, it automatically calms your entire body, for me lah, at least. Or ask myself, okay, what are you nervous of? For me, talking it out, verbalize it, helps me to organize, okay, what am I feeling? Especially feelings. We are not talking about opinions now. Sometimes certain things, of course, everybody is different. Some prefer write, some prefer talk, but you have to let it out. It cannot be inside your head. When it's inside your head, it will never go out and it will just become more cluttered and you will just stuck there and your soul is not in your body anymore. You are not present.
Yep.
So what I do is I talk it out. I I understand that I'm very nervous now. So what is causing me nervous? Is it because I feel underprepared, or is it because I feel not confident? Was it about my dress? Was it about something? Okay, so I talk to myself, like check in myself, just like how I would check in another friend. If I notice a friend is having that, I'll just check into that friend, like how I check myself. Then after that, I'll just tell myself that today my purpose is to like realign my purpose. So of course, I'm here to fulfill my job, but what do I need to do? Do I want to make the audience happy, or do I want to make the audience like sometimes, emotional? Sometimes it could be just, I just want the event to flow as smooth as the agenda. I don't want anything more, don't want anything less, because I want to play safe. That's okay. Because sometimes when you grounded yourself, for me at least, after I grounded myself with that purpose, but when I jump into the event, it's, actually I can do more, then I do more. It's a very spontaneous thing. With grounding, right, you don't need to have a specific frame. Some people will say, you must have a specific thing and you have to stick to it. No, for me, emceeing is a very different thing, because you are dealing with people. You need to be grounded with yourself in order to deal with the people, because there are so many uncertainty out there. You need to be certain with yourself first, on a certain extent. Then once you are grounded, then just go with the flow. Yeah. So for me, I'll remind myself, okay, what is my purpose? And thanks to my friend also, I have a friend, I call him my mentor. So his name is Nick. So he always tell me this: for one mistake that you make in the event, right, nobody's going to remember that. Only you remember that, because only you notice it. And other people is probably just there having fun in the event. So you have to look at the people's reaction. Don't look in, because when you look in, everything's going to be bad, because it's already very chaotic. Look out, keep looking out and see the faces of the people. Are they really like enjoying? And you don't need to reach 100% of people, because that's impossible. Nobody does that unless they are like, it's very hard, because everybody enjoys event in a very different way. Some people are very quiet, they don't sway, like how you attend concerts. Not all people are like the rock people. Some people are just chill. So you have to accept that different people have different ways of enjoying the event. Just because you don't see the smile on their face doesn't mean that they don't enjoy the event, unless that's your client. That's very obvious. But these are things that I tell myself is, okay, knowing that things are not everything I can control, but as long as there's these part of people that are enjoying the event, then I'm happy. It's very impossible to have no one person in a room that enjoys the event because that means I can't do the job. Yeah, that's how I see it. There's no like black magic, witchcraft or something. It's just like
Yeah.
how I talk to myself, realigning purposes and tell yourself that, okay, today my purpose is to do this. I'm here to deliver a message. I'm here to represent the organizers, the brand, to tell you a story. So that's their style. So I'm just here as a medium. So I should not bring in my personal emotions or my personal doubts or blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares about that. Seriously. So that helped me lah.
I'll take your advice and talk to myself discreetly the next time I'm doing something. And
I think like for your case, because my suggestion for you is that, because I think if I'm not mistaken, I think your job now is more like to share with people and people come to you because they want to learn something. So I think you can just focus on what do you want them to learn from you. It can be mistakes, it's fine because it shows that we are all humans and we make mistakes and people want to find similarities. We talk about resonance because MC is very similar to those public speaker trainers or whatsoever. It's a very similar concept. If you want someone to resonate with you, you have to come down with them at the same level. Because if you're always the superior side, they can only look at you like you're God. They can only worship you, but worshipping and learning from you is a different thing. You don't want your people to worship you. You want them to learn from you. So you can just be very honest with, yeah, I make mistakes too. I'm very nervous too. But today, my intention here is to let you know that, okay, I make mistakes too, but I can still have something to share for you. And you still want to learn from me. So that means something. That gives them a lot of empowerment.
Thanks for the advice. And just now, what your mentor said, right? Looking inside and everything is messed up. Like look outside and then that's where you find your ground. My mentor, Hui, she says level 1 thinking is when it's about how do I see myself. Level 2 thinking is what people think of me. And level 3 thinking is like, how can I serve? And what am I here for is to serve other people, whether it's an MC, whether it's like your purpose there. And you think of that, how can I best do my job of serving people? Then you take away level 1 and level 2 thinking. And I think that there is some, how to say, resonance in these two wisdom. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And for me, I just asked like, how do you end up speaking an event in Swahili?
Oh, that one. Actually, not a lot also. I just learned 2 lines for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the client, their audience base is like a mixture. They have a business in Africa, Nigeria, mainly Nigeria. They speak Swahili. Like when they were tuned into the online, back then was like still MCO, I think. So it's a virtual meeting, a virtual convention kind of thing. Yeah, for me, they didn't ask me to do it lah, but for me, if you have friends coming from all over the world, it would be nice if you speak their language to just say hi to them. That's why I learned French, Swahili. I spoke Korean before. For me, I think the most challenging one was like Hindi and Tamil. Oh my God, the nice to meet you is so hard to say. I just keep the nice to meet you. I just stick with hello because it's too difficult. But like, people, they feel it if you really put effort and you put in the sincerity that you want to connect to them. Even if they don't feel connected to you, they will feel the effort and they can feel it through your voice. Believe it or not, like you can feel someone's emotions by not looking at them. Just hear them because voice contains energy. So whatever that you do, they will convey through voice. Just do what you can do and stick to your intention and purposes, I would say. And then the rest it's not within your control. So just let it be.
Yes, every sentence you put out is like nuggets of wisdom and gold. Do you have any interesting experiences when you are hosting that's fun to share?
Like what? Define interesting.
Define interesting. Let's say that an event where, or maybe that, how to say, unforgettable or interesting or out of the ordinary.
I think, okay, like out of ordinary, maybe not, but I think, okay, so there's an event that comes into my mind, which is, I think last year, like in last year, I hosted like a total of 4 events with the presence of the ambassador of Japan to Malaysia. And it was a very funny one because the circle is so small and like you can't find an MC that speaks like so much Japanese, but like also have an experience in hosting. So like I happen to be very fortunate to have these opportunities to brush up. I don't really speak very fluent Japanese because I didn't really went through the full formal education. Now I'm trying to pick it up, but what I did was the one in Tokyo Street. I think they were celebrating for, sorry, I forgot how many anniversary, but it's like an important event. We invited His Excellency. Then they told me that they want me to speak very formal Japanese lah, and they gave me a Japanese script, but it's all written in Japanese. I'm like, oh my god, it's a real deal. Then what I did was I find my Japanese translator friend, which I knew him from a cosplay event. He's very reliable. His name is Aoi. So he helped me. Of course, I paid him lah. It's a labor. So have his help to like help me to translate some of the things that I want to say in English into Japanese. He helped me to also write it in Romaji. What I do is I practice it. Okay, the trick is this. For me, I can speak Japanese like it is, but I don't really speak the language. I don't know how to explain this to my clients. Sometimes, yeah, I know I sound like a native, but I don't speak the language. How? Like, I will tell them, I am not a translator. I am an actor. I copy and paste. It's the intonation. And for Japanese, I find it doable, maybe because like I watched Japanese shows since I was a kid, so it's technically like one of the first languages I was exposed to. So I don't really speak it, but I know how it sounds like, so I can get it right. And I just need my translator to guide me. Okay, how do I pronounce this? Then I'll just wing it. Of course, I can't do it with the other languages. You know how we play games? You max out that skill already. That's it. You have no more points to put into other skills. I think that's for me. Yeah, during the event, I remember during the rehearsals, it was very funny because there were a bunch of university students. They were the performers for the traditional dance and they have to do the march in. And for me, it was so nervous because I've never spoken so much of Japanese and like I have to speak in front of so many people. And the client's pavilion, it's so big and it's public. And I was like, like I must make sure that I don't make any mistakes. So during the rehearsals, when I read out the script, it was a very long bunch of Japanese and I don't see them, but I can feel these students, they were like pulling their phone and suddenly they look up and then they were like, they start in their eyes. Because they're probably from like Japanese society or something. So like they know a bit traditional and stuff. But honestly, in my head, I was like, I don't know what I'm saying, but okay, if they give me that look, it means I say it. I just keep practice. And then during the event, because most of the guests were like real Japanese, like when I give like certain instructions according to the script, they all understood. And I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, so I have to focus on the event. But in my head, when I see them like doing it, it's, oh my God, I did it. It's something that I find it very unusual because number one, as a professional MC, you don't host in a language that you are not familiar with. You don't even know what the hell you're saying, right? It's definitely a risk. But for me, I really did my homework. Like I really make sure that I don't say anything wrong. And I even asked my translator to tell me like, what is the word I should say? Like if I mispronounce it, because we say things like, oh, excuse me. So in Japanese, like you have to say like a certain word. I think it's shitsure shimasu. And then like you repeat whatever you want to say. So it's something like that. And the Japanese that we speak in hosting is very formal. Like you don't get to see it like in anime or like dramas. It's a business language. Like I spoke to a few like translators that I know. They say a lot is from self-learning. Like they will learn like the basic Japanese and learn how to read. And you learn the business language like through self-study. That's why I'm picking up the basics now, like trying to learn how to read so that I can pick up this language faster because my one leg is there already. The leg is okay here. So I need to fill in the gap so that they will meet in the midpoint. Yeah. So I think that's one of my most interesting gig, I would say. Very challenging, but very unusual. Yeah.
I think only you can do it. And for the audience, there's a reason in our circle, Sammie is called the God of Voice. But you can ask me about it another day.
Okay. Yeah, sorry on another day. Yeah.
Can. Would you have any closing off advice for people seeking their own career path from your journey in the past decade or so? I know you dished out plenty of words of wisdom, but just one more. I'm greedy.
I think like I'll just summarize it in 3 points. Number 1 is listen to your voice. Listen to yourself. What do you really like? Not like you have to be able to ask yourself, what do you really want? What do you really like? If let's say nothing is stopping you, right? So that's the first question, first point. Second point is ask yourself, what can you accept if say this thing can't be achieved? Because you have to still look at the reality, you have to pay your bills and whatnot. So what is the second thing that you can accept? It's boring, but okay, you can make do with it. So that's the second thing. And number 3 is talk to these people who are already in the industry. Or I would say like talk to 3 kinds of people. One is the people who are already in the industry that you are in, that you're interested in. Second is the industry that you think of wanting to get in. And number 3 is probably someone who knows you very well. Yeah, know you better than yourself. You will have friends like that. Like they will tell you that actually when you do this, you grow up, you should do this. Because they see you. You don't see yourself. Sometimes even when we are present in that moment, we don't even know whether we like it or not because we can't see ourselves, but our friends can. So you should talk to these people so that you help you understand yourself better. Then from there you branch out to look for resources that can give you answers on those things. Because for me, that's what I did at least. Because my friends all are lawyers. They were all like, Sammie, don't come here. No, they're all dying. Of course, there are people who do very well as well. Of course, I talk to them as well. And of course, I noticed that there are a lot of differences between us. That's why they can strive in this environment. But for me, I really don't like the dynamics of giving advice, but I don't like these. So that's why it's not for me. Yeah, as simple as that. Yeah.
Wonderful advice.
This is not too long-winded.
No, it's not. And where can people find you, Sammie?
Where can people find me? You can find me on my website, depending on what content you want to look for. But yeah, for corporate MC stuff, more business, professional stuff, sammie-hum.com. If you want to look for cosplay stuff, more not so work stuff, more creativity stuff, then you can look for sachiko.com, HSACHIKO. It's a silent H. Yeah. I'll have all the social medias there, so you can just follow me.
Awesome. I definitely people will start noticing this very amazing lady over here. And once again, thank you so much, Sammie, for your time and for sharing your wisdom with us today. And yeah, signing off from a Holistic Human, I bid you a good evening.
Thank you so much for having me as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe, like and bell button to stay updated in our latest videos. Thank you.